right, a beautiful morning to you, dear listener. Thank you for tuning to Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio, your number one family radio in the whole of Oyo State. We're broadcasting live from the Wells Broadcasting House, which is located along Alafin Avenue, Oluyole State, Ibadan. I welcome you this morning to Perspectives Unlimited. Time check says it's 34 minutes past 6 a.m. Today is the second day in October of 2025, so I guess it's still safe to wish you a happy new month from all of us at World's Radio 89.3 FM. My name is Bolanle Oduekun Ayola, and I welcome you this morning. The show, as I said, is Perspectives Unlimited. We'll be taking a look at headlines and stories making the rounds across the different dailies in Nigeria today. Okay, so stay with us. Let's keep you informed. Now, we'll start with the front page of the Punch newspaper, where the lead headline says Pengassan strike, NNPC laments losses as union halts action. The rider says 16% of crude output, 30% of gas supply disrupted during strike. Dispute risks economic instability. That's from federal government. Pengassan suspension, not cancellation, will strike again if deal fails. Dangote denies victimizing staff. That story is on page 2 of the Punch newspaper this morning. More headlines. Nigerians languish in prisons after Ethiopia stalls MOU. That story is on page 3 of the Punch newspaper this morning. More headlines. Nigeria's 8th month debt service bill hits $2.86 billion. That's from the CBN. You found that story on page 30 of the Punch newspaper. Wale Tinubu bags Africa Energy Award in South Africa. You find that on page 27. Nigerian arrested for attempted trafficking of daughter to Iraq. That's on page 5 of the Punch newspaper this morning. More headlines. Nigeria at 65. Tinubu's reforms yet to ease hardship, says experts. That's on page 27. One doctor attends to 9,083 Nigerians. NERD laments. That's on page 2. We also see this 853 billion naira crime proceeds recovered in 1 year. That's from the EFCC. That's on page 3. And Fubara sacks commissioners. Others. That's on page 3 of the Punch newspaper this morning. Taking a look at more dailies on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, the headline is the same. Dangote Pengassan suspends strike, issues fresh threat. How federal government brokered truce over dispute. You find out on page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning. Kwara, security forces attack kidnappers' hideouts. Government urges limited movement. That's on page 21. Lagos government faults Obi on trade fair demolition. Insists buildings had no approval. That's on page 5 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning. Scarcity of cooking gas hits Lagos. Vendors sell 1,600 naira per kilogram. That's on page 4. Don't sell our assets in oil industry. ADC cautions Tinubu. That's on page 4. Probe attempt to pay out 12.75 billion naira Osun local government funds as legal fees. PDP asks IGP, EFCC. PDP is confused. Party should be ignored, says APC spokesman. That's on page 21. Kogi government mourns as 26 feared killed, others missing in boat accidents. You find that on page 3. Report warns Nigeria of declining global oil demands, urges focus on non-oil exports and tax reforms. You find that on page 6 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. And we see here, eating more fruits protect lungs against air pollution. That's according to a study on page 23. Thank God I'm planning to eat more fruits today. On the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper, insecurity. Over 180 schools shut in the north. This is, of course, in the face of in the face of Nigeria celebrating the 65th anniversary of independence yesterday. On the front page of this day newspaper, Tinubu canvasses new orientation, urges Nigerians to lift, believe, put country first. Inaugurates newly renovated National Art Theatre named after Professor Wole Soyinka. That's on the front page of the This Day newspaper. That story is continued on page 9. Okay, more headlines. FCT police, how a Rise News anchor Maduagu died. That's on the front page of this day newspaper. Continued on page 9. U.S. government shuts down as Congress fails to reach new funding deal. That's on the front page as well. Continued on page 9 of the This Day newspaper this morning. This and many more, the headlines we'll be talking about on the Perspectives Unlimited. Do well to follow us on all our social media platforms. You find us on Facebook at Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. It's a fan page specially curated for you. You find us on X, on TikTok, on Instagram at Wells Radio 893. Now, if you're not in the country or if you're not in Ibadan and you want to listen to us, it's very easy. Just go to our website, www.wellsradio893fm. I'll take that again, pardon me, www.wellsradio893.com. That's www.wellsradio893.com. Once you go to our website, scroll down for a bit, and on the left-hand corner, you'll see a play button. Just click on the play button, and you'll be able to listen. Alternatively, you can listen to us via several other radio directories, okay? Find us on radioguardian.com, onlineradiobox.net, and so on and so forth, and you'll be able to listen to us. All right, let's get to it this morning. Of course, we'll start by analyzing the president's Independence Day speech yesterday. The Independence Day speech of the president yesterday. It's quite lengthy. Let me bring in our analyst first on the show. Mr. Sani, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning to you.
I have Mr. Lalikan Sani here, ready to help us do a thorough analysis of the stories making the rounds. How do you do, sir? Happy New Month.
Oh, same to you.
And happy 65th anniversary, happy 65th independence anniversary in arrears?
The truth of the matter is that as a country, I will only be counting calendars. There is nothing to celebrate. That's my opinion.
Well, the president thinks there are many things to celebrate. We'll go on and listen for a bit. This is just a little short part, of the things that the president said, and we'll be right back. It's still Perspectives Unlimited on Wells Radio 89.3 FM. Don't go anywhere.
In 65 years since our independence, we have made tremendous progress in economic growth, social cohesion, and physical development. Our economy has experienced significant growth since 1960, although it is much easier for those whose vocation is to focus solely on what ought to be. We must recognize and celebrate our significant progress. Fellow compatriots, this is the third time I will address you on our independence anniversary since I assumed office as your president on May 29, 2023. In the last 28 months of my administration, like our founding fathers and leaders who came before me, I have committed myself irrevocably to the unfinished nation-building business. Upon assuming office, our administration inherited a near-collapse economy caused by decades of fiscal policy distortions and misalignment that had impaired real growth. As a new administration, we face a simple choice: continue business as usual and watch our nation drift, or embark on a courageous fundamental reform path. We chose the path of reform. We chose the path of tomorrow over the comfort of today. Less than 3 years later, the seeds of those difficult but necessary decisions are bearing fruits. In resetting our country for sustainable growth, we ended the corrupt fuel subsidy and multiple foreign exchange rates that created massive incentive for a rentier economy, benefiting only a tiny minority. At the same time, the masses received little or nothing from our commonwealth. Our administration has redirected the economy towards a more inclusive path channeling money to fund education, healthcare, national security, agriculture, and political economic infrastructure, such as roads, power, broadband, and social investment programs. These initiatives will generally improve Nigerians' quality of life. As a result of the tough decisions we made, the federal and state government, including local government, now have more money to take care of the people at the lower level of the ladder. To address our development challenges, our administration is setting things right now. I'm pleased to report that we have finally turned the corner. The worst is over, I say. Yesterday's pains are giving way to relief. I salute your endurance, support, and understanding. I will continue to work for you and justify the confidence you repose in me to steer the ship of our nation to a safer harbor.
All right, you're welcome back. That's just a little bit of what the president did say yesterday during the address, during the Independence Day anniversary address. Now, that's, as I said, that's just a bit. It's quite lengthy, and so we can't take it all. But I have the script here, and he talked about a couple of things. I'll just run through it, Mr. Sandy, before we get into it to talk about it. Of course, he said that our founding fathers, he mentioned quite a bit of them, believed that it was Nigeria's manifest destiny to lead the entire black race as the largest black nation on earth. He said that while we may not have achieved all the lofty dreams of our forebearers, we have not strayed too far from them. He says in 65 years, Nigeria has made tremendous progress in economic growth, social cohesion, and physical development. He said the economy has experienced significant growth since 1960. He then, decided to speak to those who are quick to point out the things that have not been done, which is what you heard, in that audio that we just listened to now. He then compared, Nigeria in 1960, education and healthcare wise, to what we have now. He says that Nigeria had about 120 secondary schools with a student population of 130,000 then, and now we have more than 23,000 secondary schools. He talked about the universities as well. He says there has been growth across every sector. Now, the president also didn't shy away from the fact that Nigeria has had good times and bad times in the 65 years. He talked about the civil war, military dictatorships, and major political crises, saying that Nigeria's resilience has got us through this. He then went on to talk about what his administration met on ground when they came into office. He said, and I quote, "Upon assuming office, our administration inherited a near-collapsed economy caused by decades of fiscal policy distortions and misalignments that had impaired real growth." And he said they were faced with a simple choice: to continue business as usual and watch the nation drift, or to embark on a courageous fundamental reform path. And he says that his administration chose the path of reform. They chose the path of tomorrow over the comforts of today. And he says that less than 3 years later, these seeds of those difficult but necessary decisions are bearing fruit. So moving on, he did say that Nigeria has turned the corner. He said the worst is over, which he also said during the coronation of the Olubadan. He said, he will continue to work for Nigerians. And he went on to list, one or two things. Well, more than one or two. He went on to list a couple of things. He said the second quarter 2025 GDP grew by 4.23%, which is Nigeria's fastest pace in 4 years. It's even outpaced the 3.4% that was projected by the IMF. He said inflation declined to 20.12% in August, which is the lowest level in 3 years. He said the administration is also working to boost agriculture and production and ensure food security and reduce food costs. He noted 12 remarkable economic milestones that this administration has achieved. He said there's been a record-breaking increase in non-oil revenue They had their 2025 target was 20 trillion naira, and they had achieved that target by August. He said they have restored fiscal health. Says that our debt service to revenue ratio has been significantly reduced from 97% to below 50%. He said we have paid down the infamous ways and means advances that threatened our economic stability and triggered inflation, linking this to the removal of what he termed the corrupt petrol subsidy. He says that this administration has freed up trillions of naira for targeted investment in the real economy and social programs for the vulnerable. He then said that as a result of this, the tiers of government now have, more money. As you heard in the short clip that we played, he said the tax to GDP ratio has risen to 13.5% from less than 10%. And he says that this ratio is expected to increase further when the new tax law takes effect in January. He said that the tax law is not about increasing the burden on existing taxpayers, but expanding the base to build Nigeria we deserve and provide tax relief to low-income earners. He says Nigeria is also now a net exporter. I'll just run through it, honestly. It says oil production rebounded to 1.68 million barrels per day from barely 1 million in 2023. It says the Naira has stabilized because the gap between the official rate and the unofficial market has reduced substantially. He says our currency against the dollar.
Let's stop all the lies. As we,
Well, that's very strong. That's a very strong allegation.
It's not strong. It's the truth. I hate to be lied to, and in the last couple of minutes, you have actually told lies said by another person to me. And in fact, when you lie to me, it's like you are looking into my face and calling me a fool. That's how I said. Mm-hmm. This particular character said that when he came on
board,
the
president,
he said that the value of the naira has stabilized. It has not stabilized. It has been destroyed, and it needs to. He needs to be told the truth. When he came on board, the naira was going for 471 naira to a dollar. As I speak to you, it's close to 1,500 naira. How do you say you have stabilized something that has lost value by 400%?
Could that be because at some point the naira went so close to 1,900?
Under whose administration? We often make a mistake in this country. We compare
2024 to 2025.
We shouldn't be doing that. We should be comparing 2023, May 2023, to what we have on the ground. I am not going to give him even an atom's word of upload until he can beat the record he met. Not that you are playing with figures and you now expect someone like me to. He said a lot of lies. He said that in 1960 that Nigeria had what was the population of Nigeria then? What is the population of Nigeria now? That's number one. Number two, is it these mushroom universities that they are creating up and there that he is referring to as universities? They created one in Inyikiti solely because the Senate majority leader is from Inyikiti. There's a university there. They have just one, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 2 buildings. Is that a university? Talk of health care. Since I was born in this city. Most of my life has been spent in this city. Never for once did I hear that UCH didn't have access to power until this particular character came on board. For 4 months, there was no power in UCH. Is it the power failure that we want to talk about? He said all sorts of things. Let me now go straight to the point. Politicians have lied to Nigerians over and over and over as regards the heels of subsidy. What exactly is subsidy? Subsidy is like, okay, you need to heat. To keep your body running, you need fuel in your body, and the fuel that the human body uses is food. Mm-hmm. Take, for instance, a decent meal is going to cost 6,000 naira. The government now said, okay, minding your income, outflow and everything, you may not be able to afford 6,000 naira per meal. Let's even do the mathematics. 6,000 in 3 places, that's 18,000. You're expected to eat 3 times in a day. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's 18,000. In 10 days, that's 280,000. In 30 days, that's 560,000. What's your income? 150,000. There is no way you can match it. Okay, so the federal government now said, okay, the government said, okay, instead of you paying 6,000 naira per meal, pay 1,500. The government, being your father in this particular context, is going to balance it up by paying the remaining 4,500. Governments all over the world rush to pay subsidies on behalf of the citizens so that they can live a decent life. You became president and you yanked that thing off.
Now, many people say
Okay.
that the other presidential, candidates for several parties also talked about this, and they even say that the current president, President Bola Tinubu, is not solely the one responsible for removing subsidy, as there was no provision for subsidy in the subsequent budget, which means that effectively subsidy had been removed by the previous president.
Thank you for this. A lot of people have, heaped that lie on Muhammadu Buhari's head, which is not fair at all. Thankfully, you are sitting in front of a computer. Buhari didn't run a 12-month cycle for his subsidy regime. Rather, he was doing it 18 months by 18 months. December 2021, there was this news. You can still Google it. It's there. Zainab Ahmed, then finance minister, she was running around saying the government couldn't afford the subsidy regime anymore. Guess what? Buhari said, no. I have 18 months to go. Let me find a way to pay subsidy for Nigerians for the next 18 months, because I know too well that Nigerians cannot afford to buy petrol for its actual cost. And he implemented an 18-month budget cycle, subsidy cycle for the people of Nigeria to run between January 2022 and June 30, 2023. People now asked him, why June 30? He said everything is, carefully designed, that it's not going to be his decision to pay subsidy for Nigeria anymore. That, yes, subsidy is expensive. He would like to give the incoming president the opportunity to decide if he wants to follow suit or not. And guess what? This particular character came on board on the 29th of May, and they said subsidy was gone. I'm going somewhere. I'm going somewhere.
He did mention this.
I'm going somewhere. No. He did not mention that, and I'll tell you. There was budgetary provision for subsidy for the month of June 2023, amounting to close to over $1 billion. Where is that money? Buhari left money in the name of subsidy for June 2023. Where is that money? You now said that we cannot blame him because he said he was going to. He did not say that. In this same Ibadan, Mapo to be precise, he said, I want to quote him in Yoruba here. Àwọn kan sọ pé bó máa lọ sí 200, ó máa lọ sí 500. Irọ́ ni a máa gbé wálẹ̀. Let me translate that. Some people are saying that fuel is going to be as high as 200 or 500 naira. That is a lie. We are going to reduce that price. Guess what? When he was saying that the price of fuel was 185 naira, he said he was going to reduce it. Today, it's close to 900 naira. What sort of reduction is that? Can anybody explain that? It is the duty of the government to see to the welfare of the people. That's apart from the security of lives and property, that's the next agenda of government. Make sure that people live decent lives. And since this particular person came on board, that has become a mirage for most of us in this country. People can no longer eat. People can no longer travel. People can no longer do it. Even to use mobile phone. I should tell you that in the last 10 years, what we are paying for telecom services as we speak right now is the highest in the last 10 years. It used to be 11 kobo per second. Now it's 25 kobo per second. Some will even charge you 30 kobo per second. 100%, 200%. That is what we are dealing with. Reduce this thing. Bring back subsidy. I am an advocate of subsidy. Any government. I was listening to somebody in the course of the week, and this person was advocating for the president. They belong to the same party. And he said something that actually made me shake my head. He said, oh, the president is courageous. that in the entire world, this is the only president that is not paying subsidy. In my view, the person who was saying that actually meant that in the whole world, this is the only irresponsible president. Because as the president, you should bring prices down for the people so that the people with the money that they have in their hands can live a decent life. He said something about pains of tomorrow, pains of today, joy of tomorrow. For us, we can deal with the pains, endless pains, and as much as they can come. But for him, has he suffered any pain? Even when Nigeria was making serious money, when
sorry, I'll have to cut you there. We will have to take a short break.
okay.
And when we come back from that break, we'll continue our discussion of Perspectives Unlimited. Apologies, Mr. Bolanle Kosani. And I also bring my evidence that he did say that he was going to remove subsidy. But we'll keep all of that, our dear listeners, until we come back from the break. Don't go anywhere. It's still Perspectives Unlimited on Wells
Please, in
Radio,
your evidence,
89.3
please
FM.
fact check what I said as regards Ahmad Biwale. Please bring that evidence too.
All right, we'll be right back. Please don't go anywhere.
How long will it take you to confirm payment? I have been waiting for the past 1 hour. I'm so sorry. Our network is slow. I will just run out of data. Same excuse yesterday. It is unacceptable, please. You better switch to One Data Internet Service. One Data? Yes, One Data. One Data is an internet service provider with the best alternative and solution for unlimited speed. One Data provides fast and reliable internet service to organizations, homes, and places of interest in Nigeria. With One Data, you get to enjoy the premium internet service with dedicated unlimited internet speed at all times, 24/7 fantastic customer service and support, and you enjoy a 1-month free subscription when you make payment. Now is the time to say goodbye to downtimes. Sign up with One Data today on 0811 223 2671 or visit www.onedata.ng for more inquiries. One Data, unlimited speed.
Are you looking to farm but don't know what's profitable and fast to plant? Do you want a business that brings results and income quickly? Then Cucumber is the answer. And World Radio 89.3 FM in conjunction with Olat Farms is here to show you how. Join our 2-day practical cucumber farming training October 17 and 18 from 11 a.m. daily at World Radio 89.3 FM off Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. For just 30,000 naira, you will learn site selection, land preparation, open field cultivation, pest control, irrigation, marketing strategies, and more. Grow smarter, harvest bigger with West Radio and All at Farms. Register today. Send "I am interested in cucumber training" to 0813-864-2544 or 0803-509-3394. Don't wait. A healthy harvest starts with the right knowledge.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The general public is hereby advised to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Verify the licensing status of such schemes on these websites: www.cbn.gov.ng, www.nicom.gov.ng, www.pencom.gov.ng, www.sec.gov.ng, www.fsrcc.gov.ng. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call CBN 0817-665-7060, 0707-338-4828, SEC 0209-462-1168. Announcer, FSRCC.
Boost your business with Wells Radio 89.3 FM. In a competitive world of business, strategic brand and product positioning is key to growth. Don't remain unseen in the shadows. Shine a spotlight on your brand with Wells Radio 89.3 FM today. Why Wells Radio? We are your state's #1 family radio station. We connect with the heart of families in your state. As the smallest unit of the society, families trust Wells Radio for quality content and information. Visit us today along Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. Our white and blue building just before Sharp Corner ensures your business won't go unnoticed. Advertise with us today. Call our marketing office on 0903 936 8185. Call Toby on 0803 509 3394. Ayo on 0706 840-7359. Take the leap today. Let Wells Radio 89.3 FM be the megaphone for your business success. You won't regret it.
89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio.
All right, you're welcome back to Perspectives Unlimited on Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio, your #1 family radio in the whole of Oyo State. This is Wells Radio 893. We're broadcasting live from the Wells Broadcasting House along Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan, and you're welcome back. Now, before the break, we're talking about the president's, speech yesterday, which was the 65th Independence Day anniversary. So, Mr. Sani, what I basically meant was that apparently, obviously, as the presidential candidate, then he went across Nigeria quite a lot, went to different states, and the one I'm actually referring to was when he spoke in November 2022 at Lagos, I believe. During a town hall meeting with the business community and organized private sector, where he said that Nigeria has, where he agreed that the economy cannot move forward without constant electricity, as we cannot produce without electricity. And he said that we have what it takes to bring it to you all. We have the gas, sun, wind, and water. As for petroleum subsidy, it has to be removed, and my administration will see to the implementation of the PIA. So that was what I was, referring
the PIA has been in effect since 2021. It was signed by Muhammadu Buhari, the former president. You said you were going to remove subsidy. That's not a problem. For me...
So is the issue with how it was removed?
No. Get me clearly, ma. We can remove subsidy technically and still make it easy for Nigerians to buy fuel at a cheap rate. Nigeria is an oil-producing country. What OPEC regulates is what we sell to the outside world. What we use in our country is none of OPEC's business. Why not bring out crude from the ground of our own country, place the crude in the hands of Aliko Dangote, and make sure that you are not asking him to pay for that crude? Rather, what Nigerians are only
just
going to pay for
refine it.
is the cost price of refining that crude. If that's the case, Nigeria is going to do well because fuel is going to be cheaper than you can imagine.
Than what he's going to sell to other countries.
Of course.
Is that a good business model?
For your people, yes. It's not your crude, it's not your father's crude, it's crude that belongs to the people. So if you cannot spend, it's better. See, if the government sees the citizens as people they can do business with, then the concept of governance is lost. It's no longer an administration, it's a business deal. And that can't end well for the country. That is what we are dealing with right now, and it cannot end well. That's on one side. On the other side, he said something, I'm actually right up this morning. He said he met a nearly collapsed economy. That is a total lie. Yes, the economy was limping then. It was not doing well. Everybody would agree that it was not doing well. But if you place it side by side with what we are dealing with right now, if it was a nearly collapsed economy, it is now a long dead economy. And I'll tell you why. When he became president, you can fact check me, mid-2023, Nigeria was the largest economy in Africa. Our GDP then was at almost $500 billion. We were almost halfway to the $1 trillion mark. Guess what today, ma? Nigeria is now number 4 in Africa. Should I tell you the size of our GDP? Now $252 billion. So how do you rationalize all of these spurious lies?
All right, Mr. Sani. Let's take a break from the president's speech of yesterday.
And I should say something.
Okay.
You are saying that Nigerians should have a blast and enjoy the 65th birthday of their country as they paid salaries to federal workers. I called my friends who work with the federal government yesterday, and they said, Enube, what do you mean? Salary never enter. Who does that?
All right, you can join the conversation this morning. Apologies if you called and the call wasn't taken, but I'll put out the studio lines now and you can be a part of the conversation. 0916-893-1000 and 0911-3333-893. Those are the two numbers that we have right now. 0916-893-1000 and 0911-3333-893. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you, madam. Your name and where you're calling from?
This is Aderonke from Muslim.
Oh, Aderonke, good morning.
On the removal of fuel subsidy, we see that since the removal of fuel subsidy, that is when we have been facing a crisis in the country. So all what we are just doing is we are pleading to the federal government that it should please.
Hello?
You should do the needful on the fuel of 18. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Aderonke, for your contribution this morning. 0916-893-1000 and 0911-3333-893. These are the numbers to call to be a part of the conversation this morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you, sir. Oh, Mr. Sheriff, it's been a while. How are you doing?
Yeah.
Good. You're welcome.
Yeah, see, what that statement from Mr. President is very far from that we are related to that economy. I hope Mr. President, maybe I should find it. He said it starts where Buhari stopped. And not only that, in 2023, you know the rate of dollars to naira that time. What is the rate to dollars to naira right now? It's close to 1,500. 2 days ago, they just put their statistics up and mentioned 10 weakest currency in Africa. Nigeria is number 9. Can you see Nigeria in Africa is number 9? And under the 500 currency in Africa, Nigeria is not among them. That means our economy has been totally bastardized by President Tinubu's administration. But you need to engage experts, technocrats in our critical sector, like Minister of Finance, Minister of Agriculture, and some other things, not the Lagos board or political scavengers that they are doing things because of their own personal interest and 2027 election. That's my own submission. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sulaiman Sheriff, for your contribution this morning. Let's move away from these matters, but we seem to have so many calls. Let's take this one. Hello, good morning. All right, we lost that call. You can give us a call back. Now to Pengasan and Dangote. You're aware that over the weekend, Pengasan decided that, you know what, we're going to go on a strike. And of course, we know that this matter has dragged on and on. And the federal government came in to mediate, arbitrate, whatever we choose to call it. It's on the dailies this morning. And they have suspended the strike. More than that, Mr. Sani, I want us to take a look at the conditions for them suspending the strike. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, good morning, sir. We can hear you. We can hear you. All right. You may just have to call us back and ensure that your phone is not on mute, so that we can hear you as well. Okay. Now, I want us, Mr. San, I want us to take a look at the conditions, because we see one too many times when the government wades into rifts like this, that just like they did in Nupeng's case, and Nupeng still came back out to say, oh, we signed the MOU, but Dangote is lying, So let's take a look at the some of the things that they talked about. The major one was that the federal government said that none of those workers will be victimized and they will be redeployed and they will not lose their pay. Pengasan obviously does not believe that, because Mr. Osifo said that, well, we're agreeing to suspend because we don't want it to seem like we're not patriotic. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. You may want to check that your phone is not on mute. I think that may be a major problem. Or you can call our second line, 0911 3333 893. 0911 3333 893. You can call that number if the first one is not working. All right, now, Pengasan obviously does not believe that, Mr. Sani, because they say that we're just suspending the strike because I watched, Alex Osifo say, I watched Mr. Osifo say that yesterday, where he said we don't necessarily believe, Festus Osifo, pardon me, we don't necessarily believe this, but we're suspending the strike. He laid emphasis on suspending the strike, not canceling the strike. How do you think this is going to work out when they say they'll be redeployed? When people are hired, are they not hired to do a certain thing? And so where do you redeploy? Are they going to take them to an NPC?
Thank you very much for this question. I should start by saying that I believe in unions. However, there is freedom of association. If I say I am not joining a particular union, I should be left alone. That's what the Constitution says.
As an individual?
Yes. And if I say I want to join a union, I must be allowed to join that union.
Mm. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello.
We can hear you. We can hear you. Okay.
That is what the Constitution says. I should have the prerogative to say if I am joining
or not.
These people came together to join a union at Dangote Refinery. And Dangote said, for that reason, I am sending. It didn't say it quite expressly, but the message is clear. It's loud enough. That is wrong. A lot of people are saying, oh.
Is it, let me even ask this. Is it wrong for an employer to say, I don't want you to join the existing unions. I want to create a union in this organization?
It is not it is not within your purview to tell them which organization they are going to join.
Because there's freedom of association.
Yes. If they say they want to join XYZ association, you just have to let it slide, because that is what the law says. And if a particular employer is against people joining a union, trust me, that person has negative intentions. The Nigerian workers at Dangote have come out to say that Nigerian engineers are being paid 385,000 naira, while their Indian counterparts, that when they came into the country, the Nigerian ones were the ones who trained the Indian counterparts. Now the Indian counterparts are going in with 7.5 million naira per month. Dangote has not said a word as regards that. That means, we cannot doubt the veracity of that claim. I listened to some of them through, backdoor channels, and they said that they were actually going to protest on that day.
About that.
Not just about that alone, about a number of things. Dangote got wind of that, and they said you just have to go because they didn't want that to happen. And guess what they were asking for? Dangote should apply international standards to his operations there. They talked about HMO. They said that the HMO for Nigerian workers there, which is medical insurance, is next to non-existent. That in terms of pay, they go home with next to nothing. In terms of promotions, nothing. That when they do extra hours, they are paid for, they are shortchanged. They are not paid for what they are
compensated adequately.
That's that. Unlike their Indian counterparts that get more than what they may ever need for a month. And these are the issues. He came out, he rushed out to say Nupeng charges 50,000 naira per truck. Well, I do not support that. Nupeng should not be doing that. If you are collecting money, it should be monthly dues from your salary. You now saying you want to
not
charge
charges.
50K. But a lot of people are making a mistake that is why fuel is expensive. That is not why fuel is expensive. Before, a tanker of fuel was bought at the rate of 8 million. As I speak to you, it's inching towards 40 million. So what effect is 50,000 naira in 40 million? Do I support it? No. But is that the reason why fuel is expensive? No. The fuel is expensive because the federal government has decided to let us be with our responsibilities without carrying any part of it. That's that. Dangote is somebody I don't respect that much. No disrespect, but I do not respect him. And the reason is that, look at each and every sector of our economy has gone into. He comes in when the price is stable. Before you know what is happening, the price is up.
I mean, can you blame him? He's a private businessman.
If you are a private businessman, you are only expected to make decent gains, not to exploit. This is happening because we do not have a government, and that is the truth of the matter. Well, we have a government.
We have a government.
We have a government that takes care of their own personal needs. They do not care about the people. That's just the truth of the matter. Dangote has done a lot of things that should warrant him being called by the FCCPC, in my opinion. But they have not done that. These guys are saying, give us our fair share. And rather, you are saying you. And I can tell you that the agreement, entered into by the three parties involved, Dangote, federal government, and Pengesan, is not making sense to me. You employed petroleum engineers. You have a refinery, but you are saying that, okay, you are going to bring them back into the system, but you are not going to...
They'll be redeployed.
They are going to be redeployed. Are you planning to take a petroleum engineer to a cement factory? Are you planning to take a petroleum engineer to a sugar plant? How do you want to do that?
Well, we wait and see how that will work
Eventually, they will not be able to do the task appropriately, and they will be fired eventually for incompetence. But it's like saying that you want to see how fast an animal can swim in the water, and you are saying, okay, monkey, enter water, we'll see how you want to take swim.
We'll continue to monitor it, as Pengesan has said, that this is just a suspension and not a cancellation. We can also see that the NNPC has complained because the NNPC was also affected.
See,
they didn't just shut down.
Dangote knows exactly
Dangote.
what he's doing. He started testing the system months back when he said he wanted to import 4,000 trucks. The government should have stopped him at that particular point. It did that. It was successful. He's the one controlling downstream now. He, tested the waters as regards midstream. The federal government didn't say anything. Naturally, we would want to go further. If they had stopped him at that particular point, I have a number of reasons for saying they should have stopped him. Number one is that you are bringing in 4,000 trucks. Are there no trucks taking for
CNG trucks?
Trucks. They are still going to have the same impact on the road. These things are extremely heavy and they usually damage roads. Why bring in 4,000 extra when we have enough already that can take fuel to any part of the country? That's the truth. Is there a part of the country that is saying that you cannot get fuel until you get CNG trucks? CNG is just what powers the trucks. It could be cost saving. Electric.
It could be cost saving for him.
How has it affected? For him, this is not your business. The government should have, at that particular point in time said, oh, there are different tiers of businessmen here. You are the provider. Let there be distributors. Now look, Dangote won't make money. And even the PIA,
Can the president tell Aliko Dangote how to run his business?
Yes, you can, because you have to apply for license before you do anything. If you don't grant that license, will you be able to do it? That's that. And the point is the PIA says that if you are a refiner, you are only entitled to distribute only a certain percentage of what you produce. That is the Petroleum Industry Act. I'm not saying this off my head. It is in the PIA that as a refiner, you can only distribute a certain percentage of what you produce. Let other people to benefit. That's the point.
All right, let's move on to other stories quickly. We don't have so much time. 0916-893-1000, 0911-3333-893. I can see that it seems some people are facing some frustrations with the phone lines this morning. I sincerely apologize. Before the show ends, you can send your message via a WhatsApp message to 0915 4999 893. 0915 999 893. Send us a WhatsApp message or just drop your comment on our Facebook fan page this morning. Now, the NARD also, that's the Association of Resident Doctors, also brought out its own anniversary statement, independence anniversary statement yesterday.
That is going to excite me.
That left many people aghast because they
aghast, not me.
They said that the country's doctor-to-patient ratio is 1 doctor to 9,083 patients.
How should you be surprised? How could I have shocked
you? And you know that doctors see so many patients, but the numbers don't, eventually add up to so much. You don't think that the numbers add up to so much. We have about 5 minutes. Let's see if we can take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning, sir.
It's terrible.
Congratulations on finally getting it. Oh, he couldn't still hear us. Oh,
is that Mr. George?
Yes, I believe that's Mr. George. Mr. George, you can send us a text message.
Or call the other number.
Or call the other number, 0911 3333 893. 0911 3333 893. Or send us a text message to the number you're trying to call, to the other number. Would really, really like to have your contribution this morning. Or send us a WhatsApp message to 0915 4999 893. Now, they went on to say that Nigeria is struggling with a shortage of doctors. Now, when it comes to this is actually the issue of resident doctors. Now, we have seen there was a time that a particular clinical roster made its way to X, where we saw a particular doctor. I can't remember his name now, but that doctor was on duty for about, I think, a month with no breaks.
Let's not even go far. Weeks back, a particular resident doctor in River State collapsed after working for 3 straight days.
From exhaustion?
Yes. In the UK, if you are a doctor and you're working with the NHS, it's 1 day on, 1 day off. And should you happen to do a surgery, it's going to be 2 days off. A particular doctor in a federal government-owned medical institution in Ibadan told me that he did 6 surgeries in 1 day. Other countries, 1 surgery, 2 days you're off. This guy works every day. And on a particular day, he did 6 surgeries. Tell me how this guy will not cut what he's not supposed to cut eventually. Now, in all seriousness, be it a resident doctor.
Okay, let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, What's Radio. Thank you, I got you today.
All right, you're welcome, sir. Apologies for
My name is Salami. I'm the one that I've been trying for a while now.
Oh, so sorry, Mr. Salami.
You're
welcome.
All right. Bless you, sir. Good morning, Mr. Sonny.
Morning, sir.
For me this morning, honestly speaking, I just want to react to what Mr. President described as his reforms bearing fruit. I don't know what type of fruit. I don't know exactly what it is. Is it in the area of security or insecurity? Is it in the area of food security? Is it in the area of education? I don't know. Mr. President should just be specific. For me, long talk, no take home. Honestly speaking, I'm sorry to say that. But all I just want to say is that Mr. President should just reassess his policy, jig rigid and can they fix certain things for 2027 election. With this, honestly speaking, with the way the Mr. President has extended the rest of this country in the last 2.5 years, necessarily, I don't think Mr. President should be given a second chance. That's just it. The soothsayers can tell him anything, but this is the reality on ground. People are suffering. I'm in my 50s, and I've witnessed over 8 or 9 administrations as I'm not done. No administration has inflicted more pain on Nigerians than its regime. May God save Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr.
And in
Salami.
buttressing what Mr. Salami said, no administration has spent so much on itself like this administration. You are spending on yourself blindly while you keep telling the people to wait. What sort of nonsense is that? It's annoying.
All right. We don't have time on the show anymore. I honestly wish we had more time. But also, River State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has sacked all commissioners and other public office holders.
Let's just say the ceremonial governor of River State.
Well, the governor of River State, Siminalayi Fubara. Okay. That's about how much we can take on the show today. Thank you so much, Mr. Sani.
It is always an honor to be here.
Thank you so much to everyone who called. For those who tried to call, we sincerely apologize. It's not, it's not from us. It's probably the network. Well, we say thank you so much for even considering calling the show, and just know that without you, there is no us. AM Sports comes up shortly after with Sir Delire bringing you the latest stories in the world of sports. So don't go anywhere. Please stay with us. Please listen to this important information. The views expressed by the interviewee in this program are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of Wells Radio 89.3 FM or its affiliated entities. Wells Radio 89.3 FM is committed to providing a platform for diverse perspectives and opinions, and the views expressed by guests on our programs are their personal viewpoints. Wells Radio 89.3 FM does not endorse or take responsibility for the content or opinions expressed by individual interviewees and callers. Thank you.